Hello, today I'm working on a dog commission and I was thinking a little bit about self-guided learning. I watch a lot of art discourse online. There seems to be a divide between those who think that they need to study hard and get really good at drawing accurately before they can actually make the art that they want to make, and people who just draw whatever they want, worried that they're going to be wasting time hoping that they will just improve by accident. Realistically, it's going to be a healthy mix of both. But some people really do believe that this divide exists. So if I had to choose one extreme over the other, to study hard or to play hard, I think I'd be firmly in the latter of just drawing what you want until you get good at it. And hopefully this becomes relevant later. But I'm biased, as I started drawing in childhood, so I was drawing Sailor Moon with my friends. And there was no pressure for me to be good at drawing. But I did get decent at drawing Sailor Moon before I even had to do any boring practice drawing assignments in school. And that to me is evidence enough that you can get good at drawing by accident, just by practicing. I'm a fan of just drawing what you want to draw because I do trust myself to get bored of doing the same things all the time. And I know that I will branch out later. That's what we do on Patreon for a while, where I would just pick a new theme that I was weak at and I would study it. But by the end of the month, I would be doing all these drawings of the same thing over and over just to get good at it. And I would get a little burnt out at it. And so I don't really do the themes anymore, but that kind of matches up with a different conversation elsewhere where people were discussing what does success really mean to an artist, because some people will say it's about money, being able to professionally support yourself with art, and other people will say it's about glory, it's about how cool your opportunities are and how many galleries you hang your art in and stuff like that, how famous you are. But I would say that success for an artist got to be persistence, because we all tend to quit. Some people don't. Some people try to turn it into something, to make a business out of it, to show in galleries, to sell in markets, and all that stuff is just so complicated and so hard that I would have quit 100 times over. So I feel like having success as an artist is to be doing it after being inevitably knocked down so many times, but also to have a purpose in it and to have a satisfaction in doing it. And somebody likened learning to draw to learning how to play guitar, which I thought was kind of funny because I don't think people learn how to play music in the same way either. Like, my spouse took lessons and had to learn the names of chords and do a lot of practice scales and stuff like that. Whereas I just kind of picked up this broken old guitar, chose a song that would be interesting to play or sing or whatever, and just kept playing that song over and over, getting enraged, and then finally kind of getting through it. And then I just kept introducing more and more fun and exciting songs. Like, I kept doing things that were interesting to me. That wasn't just, I'm going to study this scale so that I can get really good before I even attempt to rhythmically strum a song that I like. You know what I mean? And that's how some people do view learning how to draw art. That you need to practice drawing blocks and spheres and horizon lines and disembodied parts of human bodies before you can even try to draw your favorite cartoon character or make a cartoon, an animation, or a comic strip. Like, I think it's a better approach just to have fun and trust yourself to improve over time and approach things as you are interested in approaching them. Because we're all eventually going to want or need to draw something new that we're not good at, because we're, illustrating a story or doing a request. And if I'm struggling somewhere, that's usually a good indicator of what I ought to be learning next. For example, the other day I was recording some interesting plants in my sketchbook that I saw at a conservatory. Yeah, at this point I was a little bit fatigued, but when I went to add a few little mice on the side, because there were so many mice in the conservatory, I felt like I was struggling to make them look recognizable as mice. I don't remember drawing a whole lot of mice. So naturally, I flipped to another page and drew some mice over and over to kind of practice it, to figure out like, okay, what makes a mouse look like a mouse and how am I getting this wrong? So here I am, I'm 38, and I just struggled to draw a little mouse. Wasn't really good at birds until like 6 years ago, and please don't ask me to draw a car for sure. So it's hard to say. I guess it does take a bit longer. I guess if you have to draw really well, really fast, the study approach is probably the fastest way to do it, but you're not going to get that reward that helps you persist through the struggle of drawing things badly. Because we're all going to be drawing things badly for a very long time. All this to say that I was really afraid going into this dog commission. And that's the thing that I love and hate about commissions. People want things, and they're going to want things that I don't do. Which is why I was trying to draw fire in my sketchbook, because the first idea was a dog standing in front of a burning building. And I am not experienced with drawing fire, nor am I experienced with drawing night scenes in general. Going into this, I was just so timid. I hate this. I don't hate this. I hate this process. I'm using some photo references that are very normal in broad daylight, harsh daylight, where the sun's coming down from the top. And then I give myself this task of inventing a new lighting system where the light is coming from these glowing mushrooms. So it's literally the opposite. So I'm trying to like wrap my brain around what that might look like. And it's obviously still very like gentle and ambient, so I know that this is going to take me way too long, but you know, I tried to make this frog to try to build a little bit of confidence, but I don't really feel that much more confident. And I'm sort of getting to the point where I'm seeing a lot of where my limitations are personally, and I guess it surprised me that I would get to this age and think like, oh man, I've never really done a lot of weird angles. I haven't really done a lot of unusual lighting, nighttime stuff, fire stuff. I was also asked to draw a kind of like cybernetic machine thing going on, and I don't think that they really liked it in the end, but I liked it, and I'd never drawn anything like that before. It's fun. Like, there's no way that I could learn everything before I ever need to use it. This is how far I was able to get just by doing what I want and having fun with a little bit of study peppered in there, but not to the point where it becomes work or pressure. It was more like, I need to draw this thing for this idea I have, so I should probably practice it for a while. I'm very honored to be able to draw this doggy in the mushrooms. I think my favorite part is actually the spontaneous snail. He's got some really good shadows on him. And of course, let me know in the comments your story of learning how to draw, because I'm a little curious to know how different everyone's experience is between people who tried it and quit and people who kept going, because I noticed a very persistent theme, and I probably even have another video about having a reward system that's not tied to how skilled your stuff is in the moment. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.